Why do billionaires take sleeping pills while simple gardeners sleep like babies? We chase success thinking it brings peace. But what if the thing you are running toward is actually destroying you? The secret to true happiness is hidden in plain sight, but most people never see it until it is too late. Stop for a moment and ask yourself a dangerous question. If you woke up tomorrow morning with $10 million in your bank account, a garage full of luxury cars, and millions of people admiring you online, do you honestly believe the voice in your head would stop worrying? Do you think the tightness in your chest would finally disappear? We live in a world that is obsessed with the outside. We look at the shiny lives of others and we think, if I just had what they have, I would be peaceful. But here is the shocking truth that nobody wants to talk about. We see the mansions, but we don't see the emptiness inside the living rooms. We see the expensive dinners, but we don't see the loneliness at the table. If success and money are the ingredients for a happy life, why are so many successful people popping pills just to sleep at night? Why are the richest people often the most paranoid? We have been sold a lie. We are running a race that has no finish line. And today, right now, we are going to stop running and start seeing the truth. Welcome to Glaze English. I am truly honored that you have chosen to spend your precious time here with me. If you are tired of the noise and you are ready to explore the deeper meaning of life while improving your English, please hit that subscribe button right now. Your support helps us keep this sanctuary of learning alive. Now, let's look at this trap we are all in. The problem isn't that we can't find happiness. The problem is that we don't even know what it looks like. We confuse two very different things, happiness and pleasure. Most of us spend our entire lives chasing pleasure. Pleasure is a drug. It is the feeling you get when you buy a brand new phone. You open the box, you smell that new plastic, you turn it on, and you feel a rush of excitement. You feel high. But what happens 2 weeks later? The phone is just a phone. It has fingerprints on the screen. It is no longer new. The excitement vanishes, and you feel empty again. So, what do? You start looking for the next thing to buy. Pleasure is loud. It screams for your attention. It depends on the world being perfect. If the food is tasty, you feel pleasure. If the waiter is rude, the pleasure dies. But true happiness? True happiness is quiet. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It is a sense of peace that stays with you even when the world is chaotic. To understand this, I want you to imagine two men. Let's call the first man Robert. Robert is a CEO. He lives in a penthouse apartment that touches the clouds. He wears a watch that costs more than most people earn in 10 years. He has power. When he speaks, people tremble. But look closer at Robert. It is 3 a.m. and he is awake. He is pacing the floor. His mind is racing. He is terrified of losing his money. He is jealous of his competitor who just bought a bigger boat. He has everything, but he feels like he is drowning. Now, let's look at the second man. Let's call him Thomas. Thomas is a gardener. He lives in a small, simple house with a leaking roof that he fixes himself. He drives an old motorbike. But watch Thomas in the evening. He sits on his porch with a cup of tea. He watches the sunset with his wife. He laughs deeply from his belly. He doesn't check his phone every 5 minutes. He sleeps like a baby because he has nothing to hide and nothing to prove. Robert has success. Thomas has happiness. We spend our lives trying to be Robert because society tells us that is the dream. But inside, we are all starving for what Thomas has. We are starving for peace. The trap of more is dangerous. When you tie your happiness to things, to money, to fame, to approval, you are building your house on sand. The moment the wind blows, the house falls. You get a raise, and you feel happy for a week. Then you get used to it, and you want another raise. It is a treadmill. You are running and sweating, but you are not going anywhere. True happiness begins the moment you step off that treadmill. It begins when you realize that you cannot fix an internal problem with an external solution. You cannot buy peace. You cannot achieve your way to calmness. So, if happiness isn't out there in the shopping mall or the corner office, where is it? And how can we find it in a world that never stops shouting? The answer requires a shift deep inside your soul. Let's explore where the real treasure is hidden. If we accept that the shiny things outside of us are just ghosts that vanish when we touch them, then we are left with a very important question. Where is the real treasure hidden? The answer is the most difficult journey you will ever take, because it requires you to stop looking at the world and start looking at yourself. The shift must happen inside. Real success is not about conquering the world. Real success is conquering your own mind. It is achieving a state we call peace of mind. I want to be very clear about what this means, because most people get it wrong. Peace of mind does not mean your life is perfect. It does not mean you have no problems. It does not mean you never feel sad or angry. That is impossible. As long as we are breathing, there will be storms. There will be difficult days at work. There will be arguments with people we love. There will be health issues. Peace of mind is not the absence of the storm. It is the calm inside the storm. Imagine the ocean. On the surface, the waves are crashing. The wind is blowing. It is chaotic and loud. But if you go deep down, under the water, everything is silent. Everything is still. A person with true happiness lives in that deep water. The waves happen, but they do not disturb the soul. So, why is this peace so hard to find? What is stealing it from us? The thief is living in your head right now. It is the noisy mind. Have you ever sat in a quiet room but felt completely exhausted because your brain would not stop talking? Our minds are like wild monkeys. They are constantly jumping. They jump to the past, replaying old mistakes. Why did I say that stupid thing 5 years ago? Why did I make that bad investment? We carry the heavy bags of regret everywhere we go. Then the mind jumps to the future. It creates horror movies about things that haven't even happened yet. What if I lose my job? What if I get sick? What if people judge me? We are time travelers who are never present. When you are washing the dishes, you are not really washing dishes. You are fighting a war in your head with someone who isn't there. When you are walking in the park, you don't see the trees because you are worrying about next week's meeting. This noise is what kills happiness. You cannot be happy if you are not here. To find peace, we must learn the art of acceptance. This is a hard lesson for me, and I know it is hard for you. We are taught to fight. We fight for what we want, but often we fight reality. When it rains, we get angry at the rain. When traffic is bad, we get angry at the cars. We scream inside, "This shouldn't be happening," but it is happening. The rain is falling. The cars are stopped. No amount of anger will change it. The moment you stop fighting reality is the moment you become free. Acceptance is saying, "Okay, this is the situation. I don't like it, but I accept it is happening. Now, what is the best thing I can do?" When you accept the present moment, the tension leaves your shoulders. You stop wasting energy on, "Why me?" and start using your energy to move forward. And to keep this peace, we must talk about the heaviest weight we carry, unforgiveness. Many of us are walking through life carrying a backpack full of rocks. Each rock is a person who hurt us. Each rock is a grudge we hold. We think that by staying angry, we are punishing them. We think our anger is a weapon. But anger is not a weapon against others. It is a poison we drink ourselves. Forgiveness is not about saying what they did was right. It is not about being weak. Forgiveness is a selfish act in the most beautiful way. It is saying, "I value my peace more than I value my anger." It is putting the backpack down. When you forgive, you don't change the past, but you completely change your future. You become lighter. Finally, we find peace in simplicity. We have made life so complicated. We think we need the latest gadget, the trendiest clothes, the most complex opinions. We clutter our homes and our minds. But if you look at the happiest moments of your life, were they complicated? Think about it. Maybe it was sitting with a friend and just talking. Maybe it was drinking a cold glass of water after a long run. Maybe it was a deep breath of fresh morning air. These things are simple. They are free. True happiness loves simplicity. It is the art of stripping away the noise until only the essential remains. A peaceful mind does not need to be entertained constantly. It is comfortable with silence. It is comfortable with just being. When we stop trying to impress the world with our complexity, we discover the profound joy of a simple life. We realize that we don't need more to be happy. We just need to clear the noise so we can hear the happiness that was already there, waiting for us to listen. Now that we have cleared the noise from our minds and learned to accept the present moment, we must plant a new seed in that silence, a seed that will grow into the strongest tree of happiness. The practice of gratitude. It is strange how the human mind works. We are naturally programmed to look for what is wrong. You can have a beautiful white wall in your house, but if there is one tiny black dot in the corner, your eye will stare at that dot all day. You will forget the wall is white. You will only see the flaw. We do this with our lives every single day. You might have a healthy body, a loving family, and food on your table. But if your car breaks down, suddenly your whole life feels terrible. We focus so hard on the one thing that is missing that we become blind to the 1,000 things that are present. This is where gratitude changes everything. Gratitude is not just saying thank you like a polite child. It is a radical shift in how you see the world. It is the ability to shift your focus from lack to abundance. When you wake up in the morning, what is your first thought? Do you think, "Oh no, I have to go to work. I am so tired." Or do you think, "I have woke up. I have breath in my lungs. I have another chance to live"? This sounds simple, but it is profound. When you practice gratitude, you realize that you are already rich. You don't need $1 million to be rich. If you can walk without pain, you are rich. If you can see the colors of the sunset, you are rich. If you have one person who loves you, you are wealthy beyond measure. But there is a thief that comes in the night to steal this treasure. That thief is named comparison. We live in the age of screens. We scroll through our phones and we see the edited, filtered, perfect lives of strangers. We see their vacations, their perfect bodies, their expensive dinners. And immediately, a poison enters our heart. We look at our own simple life and we feel small. We feel like we are failing. But I want you to remember this. You are comparing your behind-the-scenes reality with their highlight reel. You don't see their arguments. You don't see their credit card debt. You don't see their sadness. Comparison destroys gratitude because it tells you that what you have is not enough. This leads us to the most misunderstood word in the English language: contentment. Many people are afraid of this word. They think, if I am content, I will become lazy. I will stop achieving. I will stay in the same place forever. This is a lie. Contentment does not mean you stop moving forward. It means you stop being desperate. Think of a musician. A musician plays a song not because he wants to finish the song, but because he enjoys the music. He is content while he plays. He is not suffering until the end. When you are content, you still work hard. You still build your business. You still improve yourself. But you do it from a place of joy, not from a place of fear. You are not saying, I am worthless until I succeed. You are saying, I am already enough, and I am excited to see what I can create. The person who knows the power of enough is the most powerful person in the room. You cannot manipulate them. You cannot make them jealous. You cannot sell them things they don't need. Imagine the freedom of walking into a shopping mall, looking at all the shiny things, and honestly saying to yourself, I don't need any of this to be happy. That is freedom. That is the moment the chains fall off. When you replace I need more with I have enough, the desperate race ends. You step off the treadmill. You look around at your simple, beautiful life, and you realize that the happiness you were chasing was sitting right there at your dinner table all along. Once we have learned to be content with what we have, we often face one final, silent question that keeps us awake at night. What is the point of it all? You see, peace is beautiful. Gratitude is powerful. But human beings need more than just comfort to be truly happy. We need to feel that our existence matters. we need to feel useful. I have met people who have everything. They have retired early. They have millions in the bank. They have health. They have absolute freedom. And yet, they are deeply bored and spiritually empty. They wake up at 11 a.m., they watch TV, they eat, and they sleep. They have comfort, but they do not have purpose. A life without purpose feels heavy, even if your burden is light. It feels hollow. You start to feel like a ghost in your own home. But here is the great misunderstanding about purpose. We have been taught that purpose must be something huge. We think purpose means starting a global company, writing a best-selling book, or saving the rainforest. We think purpose is for heroes and legends. So, we look at our own simple lives, our office jobs, our small families, and we think, I have no purpose. This is wrong. Purpose is not about fame. It is not about changing the world. Purpose is simply contribution. Purpose happens the moment you shift your focus from what can I get to what can I give. There is a strange magic in this. The more you obsess about your own happiness, the more it runs away from you. The more you think about your problems, your feelings, your wants, the smaller your world becomes. You become trapped in a prison of the self. But the moment you step out of your house to help someone else, the prison door opens. Purpose can be small. Purpose is raising your children to be kind, honest human beings. Purpose is doing your job with excellence, knowing that your work helps your team. Purpose is listening to a friend who is heartbroken and not looking at your phone while they speak. Purpose is planting a garden. When you make someone else's day a little bit brighter, you light a candle in your own heart. You realize, I am useful. I have value. That feeling is better than any pleasure money can buy. And there is one more reason why purpose is essential. It is your anchor in the storm. Life is not always easy. Tragedy will come. Pain will come. When you are living only for pleasure, suffering destroys you. You ask, why is this happening to me? And you collapse. But when you live for a purpose, you have strength. You can endure the pain because you know why you are here. A mother can endure sleepless nights because her purpose is her child. A doctor can endure exhaustion because his purpose is his patient. When you have a why to live, you can bear almost any how. So, if you are feeling empty today, do not go out and buy something. Go out and do something. Help a neighbor. Call your parents. Solve a problem for someone. The moment you make yourself useful to the world, the emptiness inside you begins to fill up with a deep, solid joy that no one can take away. So, we have traveled a long way together. We have talked about peace. We have talked about gratitude. And we have talked about finding meaning in serving others. But knowledge alone is not enough to change your life. Here is the final secret, the one that makes everything else work. True happiness is not a destination. It is a practice. You do not arrive at happiness station one day, get off the train, and stay happy forever. That is a fairy tale. Real life is not like that. Real life is like physical fitness. You cannot go to the gym for one day, lift weights for 10 hours, and then expect to be strong for the rest of your life. You have to go to the gym every day, even when you are tired, even when you don't feel like it. Happiness is exactly the same. It is a muscle. If you do not use it, you lose it. Mentally happy people do not wait for their lives to become perfect. They build happiness through small, quiet habits. They wake up 10 minutes early just to sit in silence and drink their coffee without looking at a screen. They take a moment before bed to write down 3 simple things they are thankful for. They choose to take a deep breath instead of yelling when things go wrong. These actions seem small. They seem insignificant. But consistency is more important than intensity. 5 minutes of peace every single day is better than a 2-week vacation once a year. These small drops of water eventually fill the bucket of your soul. So, you have a choice to make today. It is the most important choice of your life. You can keep running on the treadmill, chasing the ghosts of money and fame, always tired, always hungry for more. Or you can stop. You can choose the quiet path. You can choose to build a sanctuary inside yourself. You can choose to be happy right here, right now, with exactly what you have. Thank you for walking this path with me. Stay calm, stay grateful, and choose happiness every single day. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want to leave you with one final thought that I hope stays with you long after you close this video. We have spent so much time today talking about what happiness is not. It is not the car in the driveway. It is not the number in the bank account. It is not the applause of strangers. But if we strip all of that away, what is left? What is left is you. Just you. Breathing, sitting, being. The greatest tragedy of modern life is that we spend our entire lives preparing to live, but we never actually live. We sacrifice our health to get wealth, and then we spend our wealth to try to get back our health. We are so anxious about the future that we do not enjoy the present, and the result is that we do not live in the present or the future. We live in a permanent state of waiting. But true happiness is the realization that the waiting is over. You do not need permission to be happy. You do not need to wait until you lose 10 pounds or get that promotion or find a husband or wife. Happiness is not something you withdraw from the bank of the future. It is available right now, in the very center of your chest, if you just stop running long enough to feel it. The deep lesson here is that happiness is not a result, it is a choice. It is the choice to forgive instead of holding a grudge. It is the choice to say thank you for your simple meal instead of complaining that it isn't a banquet. It is the choice to see the beauty in a rainy day instead of just seeing the mud. So, how do we apply this to our real lives starting tomorrow? You do not need to sell your house and move to a mountain. You just need to practice the art of the pause. Tomorrow, when stress comes, and it will come, I want you to pause. When someone cuts you off in traffic, pause. When your boss sends a difficult email, pause. In that pause, take one deep breath. Remind yourself, I am safe, I am alive, I have enough. That single breath breaks the cycle of stress. It brings you back to the present moment. That is where happiness lives. Start small. Find one beautiful thing every day. A flower growing in the cracks of the sidewalk, the smell of coffee, the sound of rain on the roof. Collect these small diamonds of joy. If you collect enough of them, you will realize you are the richest person in the world. Now, I have a very simple question for you, and I would love to read your answers in the comments below. It helps us connect as a community of people seeking peace. What is one simple thing that made you smile today? Was it a good cup of tea? Was it a message from a friend? Was it just waking up without pain? Please share it with us. Your answer might remind someone else of the beauty they forgot to see. If this journey helped you find a little more peace today, please consider subscribing to Glaze English. Your support gives us the motivation to keep creating these lessons and building a sanctuary for all of us in this busy world. Thank you for being here. Stay calm, stay grateful, and I will see you in the next video.